We always win. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hello for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate, sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. You we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. You we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. We do praise Yahweh for yet another opportunity to celebrate the Sabbath rest with you, a time of commemoration and a time of celebration. As we're here to give esteem and praise unto the Yahweh, I pray that your Shabbat have been going great thus far, and I pray that we will continue to make it great in the Abba. At this time, we're going to do the Baruch of the Torah, then we're going to do the 10 Commandments, and then we're going to move forward. And it is so.
And it is so.
Repeat with me, Baruch Yahuwah.
Baruch Yahuwah.
The Baruch one.
The Baruch one.
Baruch is Yahuwah.
Baruch is Yahuwah.
The Baruch one.
The Baruch
For all eternity.
for all eternity.
Baruch atah
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Our supreme one.
Our supreme.
King of the universe.
King of the universe.
Excuse me. Who selected us from all Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Giver of the Torah.
Giver of the Torah.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Baruch atah
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Our supreme one.
Our supreme one.
King of the universe.
King of the universe.
Who gave us the Torah of truth.
Who gave us the Torah of truth.
And implanted eternal life within us.
And implanted eternal life within us.
Baruch atah
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Giver of the Torah.
Giver of the Torah.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Now we have the reading of the 10 Commandments done by Mattathias, and it is so.
And it is so.
Revelation 5:6-22. Aleph. I am Yahuwah, your power, which brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim from the bed of slavery. Bet, you shall have no other power before me. You shall not make you any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in Shemayim above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the mind of the Abbas upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that have me and keep my commandments. Gemel. You shall not take the name of Yahuwah your power and falsify it. For Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that takes his name and empties it. Dalet, guard the Sabbath day to set it apart, as Yahuwah your power has commanded you. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah your power. In it you shall not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your ox, nor your ass, nor any of your cattle, nor your foreigner that is within your gates, that your manservant and your maidservant may rest as well as you. And remember that you were a servant in the land of Mitzrayim, and that Yahuwah your power brought you out of there through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Therefore, Yahuwah your power commanded you to keep the Sabbath day. Hey, esteem your Ab and your Ema as Yahuwah your power has commanded you, that your days may be prolonged and that it may go well with you in the land which Yahuwah your power is about to give you. Wa, you shall not murder. Zain, neither shall you commit adultery. Ket, neither shall you steal. Tet, neither shall you bear false witness against your neighbor. You, neither shall you desire your neighbor's isha, neither shall you covet your neighbor's bed, his field, or his manservant, or his maidservant, his ox, or his ass, or anything that is your neighbor's. These words Yahuwah spoken to all your assembly in the mount, out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness with a great. And he added no more. And he wrote them in 2 tables of stone and delivered them unto me. And it is so.
And it is so. Chapter 6, verses 1 through 18, and it reads, excuse me, these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahuwah your power commanded to teach you, that you might do them in the land where you are going to enter and possess it, that you might fear Yahuwah your power to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command you, you and your son and your grandson, all the yamim of your days, all the days of your life. Excuse me, and that your yamim may be prolonged. The word yamim means days. Hear therefore, O Yasharal, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily as Yahuwah powers of your Abbas has promised you in the land that flows with milk and honey. Shemach Yasharal. Excuse me. Hear, O Yasharal, Yahuwah our supreme one. Yahuwah is a God. And you shall ahab Yahuwah your supreme one with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words which I command you this yom shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your bed, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. To fall, to what?
Bind to the mind.
To bind to the mind. To do what? Give access to the mind, except you give the instructions of the Abba access to your mind. It is impossible to understand anything that he desires of you and from you. It's very important that you understand that. Verse 9, and you shall write to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Yaakov, to give you great cities which you did not build, houses full of all great things which you filled not, and wells dug which you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees which you did not plant. When you shall have eaten and be full, then beware lest you forget Yahuwah, which brought you forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, from the bed of slavery. You shall fear Yahuwah your power and serve him and swear by his name. You shall not go after the power of the people which are round about you. For Yahuwah your power is a jealous power among you, lest the anger of Yahuwah your power be kindled against you, and he destroy you from off the face of the earth. You shall not tempt Yahuwah your power, as you tempted him in Massa. You shall diligently keep the commandments of Yahuwah your power, and his testimonies and his statutes, which he has commanded you. And you shall do that which is right in the sight of Yahuwah, that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the great land which Yahuwah swore unto your Abbas. And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. Let us have some, please.
Worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. Worthy of my praise. Worthy of my praise. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy of my praise. Worthy, worthy. You is worthy
For all praises and esteem we do appreciate him. We hop him for everything he's done, everything he's doing, and everything that he's yet going to do. At this time, we want to turn our attention to Yahush, the son of Nun, chapter 1, and we're going to read verses 6, 7, and then we're going to recite verse 8. He deserves all of our praise, regardless of what we may be facing, regardless of what's going on. It is important that we understand it is because of him that we can face tomorrow. It is because of him that we can endure the trials and the temptations and the things that come, at us in this life. And we know that we can be hard pressed as a people. We are hard pressed as a people. And we're not just trying to survive, we are living. We are living. And when you understand whose you are and you understand your responsibility to the Abba, you understand that the first thing on top of that list is praise. Praise is calmly for the upright. It is something that we do because we ahab him. When you ahab somebody, it's not hard to praise them. I mean, speak great words about them or tell them how great they are, how kind they are. And so because he is all of that plus some, we have no problem with doing the things that we do concerning him. Once again, I pray you turn your attention to Yahush, the son of Nun, chapter 1, verses 6 and 7, and then we're going to recite verse 8. And it reads, be you strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to all the Torah, which Moshe, my servant, commanded you. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may prosper wherever you go. It is important that we understand no matter what, we cannot allow the Torah to depart out of our mouths. It is important that we turn not away from it, but that we continue to give the esteem to it that it is due. Verse 8, as I've tailored it to fit our time of confession, confess with me. I will not let this scroll of the Torah.
I will not let the scroll of the Torah
depart out of my mouth.
Depart out of my mouth.
But I shall meditate therein.
But I shall meditate therein.
Yom and Layla.
Yom and Layla.
That I may observe to do.
That I may observe to do.
According to all that is written in it.
According to all that is written in it.
But then I shall make my way prosperous.
But then I shall make my way prosperous.
And then I shall act wisely.
And then I shall act wisely.
Now look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, you shall act wisely. And you shall act wisely. Look at your wisely.
I shall act wisely.
Come on, I'll be Yahuwah.
I'll be Yahuwah.
I shall act wisely.
I shall act wisely.
I am determined.
I am determined
to act wisely.
To act wisely.
Come on, I am determined.
I am determined
to act wisely.
To act wisely.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. My determination and my motivation is acting wisely because I understand that I am a representative of the Abba. And because I represent him, it is imperative that I act wisely. There are times that we desire to react, but we should always remember, and there's a time for responding. And you've got to be sensitive to the Ruach HaKodesh to know when you're supposed to do either or. There's a time that you have to respond so that you can react. There's a time that you need to react so that you can respond. And then there's a time that you have to react. And then there's a time you have to respond. But knowing is very imperative so that we're not out of character or out of conduct. So it's very important that we understand these things. And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. At this time, we are going to make preparations to have our last song. And but we're going to do our affirmation, and then from our affirmation, our declaration, and then we're going to go into our last song. It is because the hour is late. We want to get into the teaching and get into the class. It is very important that we understand that will be brought forth. So many of you that have watched my teachings and that have understood or come to understand the way that I teach, I always give the appetizers so that we'll be ready for the main meal. But on tonight, I'm going to give you an appetizer, give you some part of the appetizer. For those, I want to just remind you to always keep Yehukin and Aleph chapter 5. Please keep that within your heart. Yehukin and Aleph chapter 1. Bet it's important that we keep those verses very fresh within our hearts. Why? Because we're in a time that many have given up and continue to give up on the Abba through his son Yahush, our Mashiach. And the thing that we cannot afford to do is allow ourselves to get so hard pressed that we're willing to sacrifice that relationship with him through his son, because we are trying to keep up with everybody else, or we're trying to, appease or please those that don't believe in him. You hear those that say, I'm Torah only. Well, I'm Abba Yahuwah only. And because I'm Abba Yahuwah only, I must accept his gift. Mm-hmm. To reject his gift is to reject. You turn around and you reject it because other people don't want the gift. But that's where we have to really understand, are we accepting him because Yahuwah has given us his witness, or are we choosing the witness of people over the witness of Abba Yahuwah? This is the witness that he's given unto us. And so it is imperative that we understand that. It also tells us that except we have Yahush, we don't have an understanding, because he is the one that brings understanding to us. So without him in our lives, we are truly missing it. It's just like a car misfiring. If it's an 8-cylinder car and it's backfiring, that means one of the spark plugs is off. That means one of the cylinders is off. That means something is wrong, because if it's firing on all 8 cylinders, that means it's going to be ready to go. If it's a 6-cylinder, that means it's supposed to be running off of 6, not 5. You can tell by the power, you can tell by the sound, you can tell how it either is going to run rough or it's going to run smoothly. We want to be a people that our lives, not what other people are saying and doing. If it's not lining up with the writings, then I don't want it. I don't want it and I don't need it. You have to understand, we got enough of situations to deal with, and we don't need anything else to deal with, especially when it comes to walking in truth. So I want to encourage you to please keep that fresh within your heart, and keep it close to your heart, because it is the very thing that is going to keep us, especially in this hour, knowing that we have a remedy, and that remedy is through Yahush HaMashiach. And it is so. And it is so. And it is so. All right. We're going to do our affirmation. I want you to repeat with me. I purpose to develop my Ruach.
I purpose to develop my Ruach.
I purpose to walk in the light of Torah.
I purpose to walk in the light of Torah.
I am Ibram.
I am Ibram.
I am born again.
I am born again.
I am Ibram.
I am Ibram.
I have the life and nature.
I have the life and nature
of Yahuwah in my Ruach.
of Yahuwah in my Ruach.
That life is.
That life is
the Torah of Yasharal.
the Torah of Yasharal.
I purpose to walk in.
I purpose to walk in
the Torah of life.
the Torah of life.
Yahuwah's Torah.
Yahuwah's Torah.
Yahush.
Yahush
is in me.
is in me.
Yahuwah's knowledge.
Yahuwah's knowledge
is in me.
in me.
Yahuwah's ahab.
Yahuwah's ahab
is in me.
is in me.
Yahuwah's power.
Yahuwah's power
is in me.
is in me.
Yahuwah's wisdom.
Yahuwah's wisdom
is in me.
is in me.
He is teaching me.
He is teaching
He is leading me.
He is leading.
I am a child of Yahuwah.
I am a child of Yahuwah.
The Ruach.
The Ruach
HaKodesh.
HaKodesh
of Yahuwah in me.
of Yahuwah in me
is leading me.
is leading.
I'll follow her leading.
I'll follow her lead.
I'll walk in the Torah.
I'll walk in the Torah.
Yahush.
Yahush.
Our Mashiach.
Our Mashiach.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Our
Mashiach.
We subdue ignorance.
We subdue ignorance
with Torah knowledge.
with Torah knowledge.
And through this knowledge.
And through this knowledge
A Torah truth.
of Torah truth,
We claim healing.
we claim healing,
Shalom.
Shalom,
Deliverance.
deliverance,
And salvation.
and salvation.
We decree.
We decree
Torah truth.
Torah truth
In the lives.
in the lives
Of your people.
of your people,
Our people.
our people,
Yasharal.
Yasharal.
We unite.
We unite.
Not to fight. Not to fight.
Not to fight.
Not to fight.
not to fight
Each other.
each other,
Each other.
each other,
Each other.
each other,
But the enemy.
But the enemy
of our belief.
of our belief.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. Let us have our next song. Let everything that has breath praise Yahuwah. Let everything that has breath praise Yahuwah. Let that has breath. Praise Yahuwah. Let everything that has breath praise Yahuwah. Let everything that has breath praise Yahuwah. Let everything that has breath praise Yahuwah. Let everything that praise Yahuwah. Let everything that has breath praise Yahuwah. Let everything that has breath praise Yahuwah. Let's recite this together, please. Repeat with me. May the utterance of my mouth and the deliberation of my heart be desirable before you. O Yahuwah, my rock, and my redeemer. May the utterance of my mouth and the deliberation of my heart be desirable before you. O Yahuwah, my rock, and my redeemer. And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. You may be seated in his presence. A deliverer, which he is a deliverer, he is a redeemer. He is all that, so much more. We appreciate him once again for this our opportunity. We are having class earlier, or have class earlier, but on this Layla, we were discussing some things earlier. There is information that I do want to deliver to you on this attitude. And so I want to deliver this. I know last week, those of you that were in class, I told you, I said this week that I would be sure to bring some information to you. I asked that those of you that were watching, if you would read Yashaya, which is Isaiah 13, chapter 13 and chapter 14. Also Jeremiah 51 and I believe 53. Yes, 50 and 51. It is a lot of information on this week during my time of study, during my time of fighting with my printer. Yes, fighting with my printer. You know how you have things that you've had forever and you just don't want to get rid of it. And I've had this computer or laptop for a very, very long time. It's my mobile office and I have so many PDFs and so forth on it. So we was trying to fight with it and get it done. But I was finally able to get the information that was already been giving out concerning the end time, unmasking the end time beast. The importance of this is that we must understand that the beast has a face, the beast has a character, and the beast has a people. The beast, it does. And so we're going to look at the character or the characteristics of the people that are now in place that are going to be very pivotal in these end times.
Okay.
As we talked about it last week when we talked about the scriptures, talking about the Babylon and the it is a whole system. It is not just something that we have been taught to believe that it's just a place and this place could be anywhere. It's just spiritual or whatever. No, this place is real and it is not America. So I'm going to tell you that now. It is not America. Very important for us to understand. Revelations 18:2, he cried mightily with a loud voice saying, Babylon the great is fallen and has become a habitation of demons, a prison for every foul spirit, and a cage for every unclean and hated bird. Now, if Babylon is the whole world system as believed by some, then the whole world will fall down and become a habitation of demons. So understand, it is not a system. It is not a system as we've been told and constantly bombarded with. It is truly a place. And there are people that live there and still do. Are you hearing me? Now, it's important that we understand. Unfortunately, this translation is not tenable because Babylon is a particular place marked for its or his wrath. Whose wrath? A place with which the kings have committed fornication, and also a city in verse 10. So you must understand, information is very important. I've said it before, and those of you that have watched or have heard it is very imperative that you understand information, that you understand having not just any information, but being able to prove, having evidence and proof of what it is that that we are trying to substantiate is imperative in order to bring not a close, but to give us some clarity and give us some valid information. It is important that we have both proof with evidence, so that we're able to intelligently explain our position and understanding what it means or who it is that we are trying to unmask. And that is the beast, unmasking the end time beast. I know there are a lot of teachings out there that's promoting and saying a lot of things, but you all must understand, we got to be able to research it in the writings. The writings, they are our roadmap. The writings, it is our roadmap, and it is the manual to help us to understand who and up against.
That's right.
Are y'all following me?
Huh.
This is very important. All right, now, Revelations 18:10 says, standing at a distance for fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city, Babylon. Scripture is written in black and white so that no one can deny that the destruction of Babylon has been prophesied in Yasha'yah chapter 13 and 14, which we're going, the title and the subtitle for to Layla. You understand that it is Unmasking the great warrior of Islam. And I'm going to show you why we're going to be talking about this particular person.